He raced in just as the groom and I finished sliding the rings on, our kiss too hungry to break. His eyes were bloodshot. How come nobody told me the groom got swapped at the last minute? The groom ran the banded finger across his lower lip, grinning like he owned the world. Sorry, little brother. Your sister-in-law and I forgot to mail you an invite. Before we go any further, hit subscribe and drop a comment telling us where you're listening. I found out who Chase was cheating with from a local crime blotter. He beat Brianna's wife beating, adulterous excuse of a husband half to death in front of a crowd, leaving the guy tethered to a urine bag for life. The clip crawled into the trending tab, and since the internet loves street justice, the comments were nothing but heart emojis, so the PR department stayed quiet. Convenient, and dangerous. If it had been pure heroics, I would have loved Chase forever. But it can never be about love, because I'm his fiancé and the wedding is 2 months away. I went alone to Bloom, the florist Chase bought outright for Brianna. The second she saw me, I tilted my phone so she could read the anonymous WhatsApp, a grainy shot of 2 mouths fused together. The guy was unmistakably Chase, down to the jacket I'd picked that morning. The girl showed only the back of her head. Brianna's face strained. Serena, I didn't send that. She and I aren't anything. She never denied the head was hers. I lifted a brow. You know who I am? Brianna snatched her phone. Please, Serena, just let me call Chase first, okay? Tears pooled in her deer-in-headlights eyes. I frowned. Relax, I only want to talk. The door chimed, but it wasn't a customer. Chase walked in holding a little boy in a school uniform. What had he told me 2 days ago? Work trip, site inspection, slammed schedule, too busy to care about napkin colors. Turns out he was hiding here playing house. The kid bounded into Brianna's arms. Mom, I'm home. I got a gold star sticker at Sun's. Hein, so my new dad bought me a cupcake. New dad? When did I mysteriously acquire a stepson? The smile on Chase's face was one I'd never seen, pure, stupid bliss, and superhero backpack slung over his shoulder, a box of cupcakes and snacks swinging from his other hand. Brie, I grabbed the donut you were craving. He froze, finally seeing me. The smile snapped off. Serena? Why are you here? I let out a soft laugh. Came to meet my fiancé's son. Quick question, the lady behind the counter, is she the surrogate? Nasty, sure, but I felt like being nasty. Brianna's tears started to fall, she tugged the boy toward the back. Chase shouldered past me so hard I nearly toppled a display. My phone flew and cracked on the tile. He shoved the snacks at her, voice syrup soft. Brie, go inside. I'll handle this. She sniffled, trusting, okay, be careful. I almost laughed out loud, did I have horns and a tail now? What, sending the damsel away? I'm here for her. Serena, he sighed, turning, there's nothing dirty between Brianna and me. I'm helping a friend, that's it. She's pitiful, without me she and the kid wouldn't survive. Then why does the kid call you new dad? I shot back. If it's so innocent, why hide them? I'm your fiancé, don't I qualify to meet your childhood orphanage buddy? He narrowed his eyes. You had them investigated? I didn't deny it. He kneaded his brow, exasperated. I was going to introduce you when the time was right, but you just had to be reckless, didn't you? Digging into people with zero protection, look at you. How was I supposed to introduce you to them? I sucked in a breath. So that's what you think of me? Silence. A thin, cold stare, so different from the man glowing a minute ago. I wanted to scream, what was that kiss, then? The boy darted back, plastic sword whacking my calf. Bad woman. You made mommy cry. Die, die. Chase was 15 when the Caldwells dragged their long-lost second son out of the orphanage. I'd arrived 2 years earlier. My fat her died for the Caldwells. My mother followed him into depression and an early grave, so they adopted me out of guilt. At the welcome banquet the patriarch handed each of us a block of Caldwell shares, nothing huge, but together enough to dilute the golden boy heir Adrian. The old man spelled it out, whichever brother married me would someday own Caldwell. I have no clue what heroic sacrifice Dad performed to buy me that lottery ticket, but I rolled my eyes hard. Adrian started sending flowers, invitations, thinly veiled favors, always rejected. I knew the eldest Caldwell, money and power were his oxygen, heartbeats measured in basis points. Love wasn't in the portfolio. Chase made no moves, just polite, measured friendship, like he couldn't care less about the throne. Then came a charity gala. Adrian, freshly minted wunderkind, held court with Riverdale's elite. Caldwell beamed, basking in firstborn glory. I hovered at the dessert table, cramming eclairs into my loneliness. Serena. Food isn't love, you know. I paused, mid-bite, and found Chase in a perfectly cut tux, spinning car keys around his finger. Nobody here needs us. I scored 2 passes to the beach music fest, road trip and real talk. We became each other's space heaters, 2 strays pretending we had a home. The cold marble halls of the Caldwell mansion felt survivable, pointless galas became bearable because we could mock them together. He drove me to salt-sprayed beaches, misty summits, dawn diners, midnight taco trucks. On the day I visited my parents' graves, rain pelted the umbrellas long after the priest left. He stayed until the last petal sank into the mud. I stared at his profile, sharp, beautiful, lashes beaded with rain, and when he caught me, his smile was soft sunrise. Want me to leave? No. I kind of hoped to introduce you to Mom and Dad, I whispered. He fussed with his collar. Should have worn a tie. What do they like in a son-in-law? I tugged him down by the tie and kissed him. Only any requirement. Love me. Dark currents swirled in his eyes. He pulled me closer, extending the kiss. 100% match, baby. Adrian looked up, surprised, when I walked into his office. He stripped off his glasses and, without the Wall Street camouflage, looked so much like Chase it hurt. I couldn't breathe. What's wrong? He asked. Can you help me? I curled my fingers until nails split skin. I'm not marrying Chase. Adrian raised an eyebrow. Yet you're the one who looks cheated on. He poured 2 fingers of whiskey. Drink. I tossed it back. He cheated. So, I said, wiping a drop of water from the corner of my mouth with my thumb, are you planning to take over the family business or not? Adrian narrowed his eyes. Serena, getting back at a lousy fiancé by sacrificing yourself isn't the best play, you know? I looked down. Sacrifice? Not really. At least if I marry you I still get the money. If there's no love, you can keep your side pieces, I'll keep mine, everybody stays relaxed, everybody wins. Adrian exhaled. Serena. The way he said it made my heart jump, my eyes sting. Chase used to call me that too. Only now did I realize the brothers even sound a little alike. What kind of man do you think I am? I'm not signing up for an open marriage. Then what? I fought back tears. You don't love me, I don't love you. Forget it, I must have been insane to come here. I stood to leave. Adrian, pretend I never showed up. He reached out and locked his fingers around my wrist. Let go, I said, voice shaking. He pulled me into his arms. Some expensive men's cologne I couldn't name wrapped around me. His body temperature ran a little cooler than Chase's, but he smelled amazing. Adrian's voice was muffled against my hair. I'm honestly curious, what do you take me for? Why assume I can't handle it? Can't handle it? Adrian? Adrian was the elite of elites, heaven's favorite son. I'd belittle anyone before I belittled him. Tears shimmered in my eyes. There's nothing you can't handle. He gave a soft laugh. Then let's get married, Serena. Whether you want revenge on him, or you want to take my money and go find, he paused, reluctant to finish. He lifted my hand to his cheek, that gorgeous face was inches away. Before you start bankrolling a bunch of losers, how about you use me first? I blinked. Use? Buzz, my new phone wasn't on silent, a message blared loud enough to kill the mood. I opened it, same anonymous number, same short clip, Chase half asleep, looking thoroughly satisfied. Underneath, the text, still refusing to leave? How long are you going to hog that spot? Adrian leaned over, baffled. Di's got the IQ of a houseplant. Leak this and Chase will be drowning in PR nightmares, unless he really wants the PR department pulling overtime. I pushed Adrian onto the couch, tears streaming as I undid his buttons. No time left. You're the one. Adrian's voice was husky, last shred of sanity holding him back. Serena, don't do this out of spite. It's not spite. I gave him a kiss, wet, salty. We're getting married anyway. I woke the next day to an empty bed. Adrian's new Caldwell venture is on the upswing, he's working around the clock. Considerate as ever, he'd left everything I might need laid out, textbook finance guy move. My phone held 20-odd missed calls and a dozen texts, all from Chase. Serena, you awake? I was too harsh yesterday. I'm sorry. Let me take you to try on wedding gowns today, okay? Serena? Serena? I answered while brushing my teeth. Sure. Pick me up at your brother's. He arrived fast, bubble tea in hand, my favorite brand, my favorite flavor. Serena, why'd you come to Adrian's? I tugged the corner of my mouth into a smile. I was heartbroken. Needed someone to talk to. Chase shut up. While he drove he kept sneaking glances at me. I kept my eyes on my phone, ignoring him. Serena, yesterday was my fault. At the same time I texted Adrian, what are you doing? Working. Oh, now he's playing ICCEO? Where was that energy last night? Chase, I shouldn't have treated you like that. It. Me, I'm in Chase's car. Adrian? Chase, Serena, I'll do anything. Can you forgive me? Me, Chase wants to get back together. Adrian, no. Me, what if I go soft? Adrian, am I not good enough? Or not trying hard enough in bed? I bit my lip, smiling. This fishing business was fun. Chase grew nervous. Serena, talk to me. I shot him an icy look. Quiet. A wire transfer alert lit my phone. Adrian wasn't stingy. Adrian, enjoy yourself, future Caldwell. Please grant me another audition. Tonight I'm wherever you say. I crossed my legs, changed position. Me, let me think. The car lurched to a stop. Chase's face had darkened. Serena, are you even listening? Who the hell have you been texting? I lifted my head, annoyance flashing. Chase drew a deep breath. Serena, please forgive me. I'll never do it again. Careful, almost pleading. Our wedding, it still happens, right? Wedding? I laughed under my breath. Of course it'll happen, just not with you. I'd booked Luna ages ago. Accommodating Chase's schedule meant so many changes I'd paid heap of cancellation fees. When I stepped out in the first wedding gown, awe in Chase's eyes looked real. The salesgirl beamed, gorgeous bride. The groom can't take his eyes off you too, so in love. I turned back into the fitting room. Next. After I emerged in gown number 2, Chase's whole vibe had flipped. Head bowed over his phone, brows knit tight. Hey. He snapped back. Beautiful, that one's beautiful too. He stood, card in hand. This one. I'll pay now. This one? I folded my arms. I don't like it. Chase's knuckles whitened around the card. Serena, let's wrap for today. I have an urgent thing. What thing? Your childhood sweetheart need rescuing? Chase bristled. Serena, I told you, there's nothing between us. I'm just helping her as a friend, that's all. That's all? That's all? I exhaled hard, glanced at the sales assistant who'd gone silent and statue still. Let's go. Next dress. When I came out again the chair was empty, Chase gone. Guilt clearly has a short battery life. His assistant burst in, breathless, and handed me a card. Serena, Caldwell had to leave. He's very sorry. But he's covering everything you buy today. The assistant trailed behind me, arms full of shopping bags. I was in spend mode up ahead. Ping, anonymous text, spending another man's money feels good, huh? Feels freaking fantastic. Adrian took one look at the haul and asked, how much? I'll reimburse you. No need. I dropped ice cubes into a glass. Chase's money. Adrian paused, loosening his tie, eyes dark. He's still bothering you? I sighed. Don't want to talk about it. Sit, have a drink. Adrian obliged, even mixed it for me. With his head lowered he looked even more like Chase. The ache in my chest crawled to my eyes, I couldn't stop the tears. Adrian said my name. Serena. I'm fine, just, 10 years is hard to let go of. I sniffed. Call me pathetic, call me love-obsessed, whatever. Right, I cheated too. I swapped grooms, we're even. So why do I still want to cry? Why does it feel like I'm suffocating? An entire decade of my life, what did it even count for in Chase's book? In the original script, the orphanage sweethearts were supposed to reunite and live happily ever after, and I was just the villainess who barged in. When he held someone, warming her in his arms, it wasn't only me, was it? Adrian suddenly gripped my hand, tight. Don't punish yourself for someone else's mistakes, Serena. I looked at the perfect, cold-blooded God in front of me and laughed. Forget it. You wouldn't understand anyway. What's the point of talking to you? Adrian lowered his eyes, voice soft, such arrogance. Serena. I wanted to swing by the apartment I'd shared with Chase and grab a few things. I took Adrian's car. The second I stepped inside, the stench of cigarettes and whiskey most knocked me back out. Chase was sprawled on the couch, a mountain of butts around his feet. He opened with an accusation, you ignored every text and call. Where the hell were you last night? That night, Adrian and I had been in the bedroom, my phone had stayed in the living room. I smiled. Oh, really? Didn't notice any messages. Fury flared in his eyes. So you ran to Adrian again? Getting brave, huh? Planning to cheat on me? I tried to walk past, wanting to pack and leave. Chase jumped up and slammed me against the wall. He was too close, the smell turned my stomach. I had to leave yesterday, Cody broke his leg. Brianna's on her own with the kid, she couldn't cope and begged me to help. Serena, can't you show them a little mercy? Stop throwing your little tantrums at me. Aren't you done yet? He paused. Do you realize how bitter and ugly you look right now? My fists clenched so hard they shook. I almost slapped him. I pulled out my phone, opened the chat, and let him have the receipts. Chase's face drained, his Adam's apple twitched. They're just unverifiable photos, planted to stir up drama. Serena, someone's trying to drive a wedge between us. Don't fall for it. Brianna and I are absolutely clean. Lie after lie, and not a flicker of shame. Suddenly I wasn't even angry anymore. Sure, you're right, it's all fake. I've been childish. Won't happen again. Fighting the nausea, I smiled and stroked the faint stubble on his cheek. Of course I wasn't ignoring you. I just thought a little mystery before the wedding would be romantic. Adrian had only a sliver of free time. When I tugged him onto the bench at City, he barely reacted. It stung, but what had I expected, jumping for joy? Silence so often means yes only because you can't say no. I gave a sour little laugh. Well then, I'd known long before this moment I was marrying a man I didn't love. Convenient, he didn't love me either. Serena. Adrian took my hand. In his eyes I saw something I'd never seen, certainty. It feels surreal that I'm actually marrying you. He rubbed the knuckle of my ring finger. I'd already made peace with being the weapon you'd use to get back at your ex. I turned away, unsure what answer to give. Adrian, you really are one hell of an actor. This time you almost had even me convinced. I picked a different Luna this time. What made this visit different? The groom himself was here and would try on suits. Adrian said, like it, buy it, no need to choose. If you want, we'll stage the wedding several times. When I stepped out of the fitting room, the outer area was empty. I called Adrian's name. He answered from the stall, still changing. I muttered, VIP service sure has gone downhill. I cracked the door and heard shouting in the corridor, voices I recognized. Chase stood in front of pale-faced Brianna, her wedding gown stark against her skin, yelling at the staff. Speak of the devil. This is how you treat VIPs? I step away for 5 minutes and your people start disrespecting my wife? The manager bowed. Caldwell, our apologies. There seems to be a misunderstanding with Brianna. Our staff meant no offense. I cleared my throat. Excuse me, I need service too. Chase froze, all anger evaporating. Ignoring Brianna's tears, he chased after me. Serena, listen, it isn't what you think. She said she'd never worn a wedding gown, so I brought her to try one on. We're nothing, I swear. Pathetic. Brianna tottered after us in stilettos and predictably crashed to the floor. Chase, it hurts, wah. Then she sobbed at me. Serena, I'm sorry, does my existence upset you? I was done. I shot Chase a sideways glance and gave him one word, scram. Then I slammed the door and locked it. When I turned, Adrian was immaculate, so gorgeous my heart lurched. Adjusting his cuff, he asked, want me to go deck him? I shook my head. No rush. We'll take our time. I fisted his collar and kissed him long and hard. When we broke apart, breathless, I said, he still hasn't led me sister-in-law. Then let's make sure he does. Adrian leaned in for another kiss. Caldwell Sr. voiced no strong opinion about the groom switch. Their indifference almost made me feel sorry for Chase. From the start they'd probably planned to leave Caldwell to Adrian. Chase had always been the spare. Chase's third family birthday was one I spent with him from dawn to dusk. Unlike Adrian's lavish bashes, his was almost pitifully low-key. My heart ached for him, so we watched stars, watched the moon, watched storm clouds smother the sky. Rain built from drizzle to downpour, soaking his hair, his lashes. Among the watery trails on his face I caught what might have been tears. His eyes were red-rimmed, his warm palms curled around my chilled fingers. It's wonderful, Serena. Finally I've got something Adrian can't steal, something priceless. And how did he repay that? Nights of cheating, body and soul, then lying to my face. 1 week before the wedding the special delivery arrived. With the date looming, Brianna panicked. She started carting the kid in front of a camera, sobbing online that I was a marriage wrecker. She clipped Bloom's security footage to paint me as a vicious homewrecker forcing Chase into wedlock. No full face shown, she didn't dare, claiming I'd split true love and karma would flatten me. A single mom and helpless child, she said, no match for a rich bully like me. Please, internet, help us. The comments were sewage. I was sex-starved, power-mad, should just drop dead. Adrian brought me warm milk. Don't look. I've already set things in motion. Why not whiskey? I asked. Bad for you. He rested a hand on my shoulder. Serena, forget them. Let's focus on our wedding, okay? The phone rang. Chase. I signaled Adrian to stay quiet and answered. Chase, Serena, don't read that garbage. Let the storm blow over. Just concentrate on the wedding. Me, and when exactly will it blow over? When she drops an uncensored photo of my face? Chase, she won. As for the noise. Serena, if you hadn't cornered her that day, she wouldn't have lashed out. So her labeling me a mistress is my fault? He sighed. She's just a kid throwing a tantrum. I'll talk her down. Adrian's eyes went glacial. I asked, so we call off the wedding, deal? Cut the dramatics. Chase snapped. It's a week away. Don't stir more trouble, alright? Moron. Adrian's lips brushed my neck. Serena, make them pay. Chase burst through the doors just as Adrian and I finished slipping the rings on and were kissing like we couldn't stop. His eyes were bloodshot. How come nobody told me the groom got swapped last minute? Adrian dragged the banded finger across his lower lip, grinning wide. Sorry, little brother. I forgot to send you an invite when I married your sister-in-law. Every guest stared at the uninvited intruder like he was a glitch in the scene. Caldwell kept the smile plastered on, but the command was steel. Chase, quit flapping around and come sit, now. Chase prizes his pride more than oxygen. Becoming the instant punching bag must have stung. He spun to leave. Hold it. I stopped him. Don't you want to deal with the tail you dragged in? In the corner Brianna hugged her son, trembling. No one had noticed them slip in. At my nod the female guard patted them down and pulled out a running cam from Brianna's pocket. She sobbed, Tim. I just wanted to record Serena's wedding for her. Somebody in the crowd snorted a laugh. Chase's pale face flushed scarlet. He yanked Brianna's wrist and marched her out, no explanation. Brianna whimpered the whole way. Don't look at them. Adrian turned my chin. Look at me. Adrian locked my wrist, voice gravel rough. Eyes on me, then tell me, who am I? He teased me until my eyes were wet. I had to answer or he'd keep going. Adrian. Next morning the trending tab blared, single mom influencer crashes burns. Brianna was still crying on her livestream about past abuse, begging the internet for pity. Adrian made his move, and, more importantly, Chase could no longer shield her. He never knew how to play both sides, and the worst thing he did was alienate every powerful board member. I used to grease those wheels with my shares and charm. Without me, the backlash would hit him like a freight train. Plus Adrian had no intention of letting up. Chase tracked me to my studio, blocking the doorway until I had to face him. A week had shaved weight off him, cigarettes clung to his clothes, defeat to his face. Serena, why go this far? You know perfectly well Adrian will never love you, he only wants your shares. Sooner or later he'll drain you dry and cheat, because he's a stingy, self-centered bastard. I shot back, and what are you? A moron who thought he could hide an affair? He cupped my cheek with a heavy sigh. Serena, let's stop this, okay? I don't care if you've slept with Adrian, we're even. Let's rewind. I love you. Any stray dog thinks it can bark at my wife now? Adrian arrived late in his board meeting suit, stepping between us as if he'd always been there. What's up, bro? If you need something, come to me. Why harass your sister-in-law? Adrian. Chase roared and lunged, fists flying. You took advantage. You cheated first. Money-grubbing ass. Serial cheating scum. I speed-dialed security, then swung my handbag hard into Chase's head. Blood smeared his face as guards pinned him to the wall. I dabbed Adrian's split lip. Does it hurt? He stole a kiss. I'll live. Chase whimpered, Serena. I hurt too. I never looked his way again while guards hauled him out. Adrian milked the moment, kissing me over and over, rubbing it in. Brianna showed up at Caldwell's gate with the boy, planning a live apology. Security was twice as tight, one wave of my hand and they'd be gone. Little Tsong-Tsong's leg still in a brace, he stood blank-eyed beside his weeping mother. He was a good kid born to lousy parents. The court summons had probably already landed on their mat. To dodge trial and jail. Brianna would have crawled on her knees. I simply shook my head. You made your choices, let the law decide, and let the law pay me back. In the end Brianna begged Chase. He sold most of his shares for a fat lump sum and bought them one-way tickets overseas. Then he begged Caldwell Sr. to make me see him. Adrian sneered, didn't beat him hard enough last time? I blocked the punch. At our first public gala as newlyweds the crowd showered us with polite concern. Adrian, used to being the constellation everyone orbited, worked the room. I felt stiff until his arm cinched my waist. I've got you. I adjusted my shawl, gave him a steady look, and headed for the terrace. Chase was there, smoking. He'd dressed up, but dim light couldn't hide how life had hollowed him. almost like the boy I once adored, if that boy had any swagger left. He forced a smile. Serena. I cut to it, you've got 5 minutes. I unloaded the shares. Partly for Brianna, sure, mostly to cut my losses. He stubbed the cigarette. But the truth is Adrian will keep squeezing me as long as I stay. So. His gaze softened. I came to see you, because I haven't given up. Tell me, will you leave with me? I don't care about the stock or the money. Pathetic, right? Only after losing everything did I see I've always loved you. I stared, ice cold. He laughed at himself. Want to know why I strayed? I never loved Brianna. For the longest time she was just a kid sister. But I liked feeling like someone's whole world. I got hooked on that. Night wind gusted, tears shimmered on his lashes under the string lights. I don't have time for your therapy session, I cut in. Anything else? Serena. He seized my arm and pulled me close. My life's been hell. I know I screwed up, but why won't you give me one more shot? 10 years, do they mean nothing? Slap. My rhinestone nail sliced his cheek. Chase, we're done. Don't ever come near me again. His voice cracked. Serena. What were those 10 RS? Tell me. They're mud caked on wet sols. Flies circling trash. Mid-spring gnats above the curb. Beads of mildew on humid walls. Chase left the city, maybe the country, maybe not. After Adrian and I moved in together I stumbled on proof he'd wanted me long before I noticed. Old photos, notes, ticket stubs. True? False? I can't tell. He's a workaholic. Caldwell keeps him buried in deals. I'm a fashion designer, and the runway show I'd prepped for months finally opened. Adrian carved out time to sit front row. I hadn't saved him a seat, I thought he'd cancel. Minutes before lights dim he flipped the program. Theme? I shrugged. Rebirth, and Secret Crush. He pecked my cheek and sat up straight. Then I'd better pay attention. Thanks for listening. If you liked the story, hit like and share with friends. Drop your thoughts below, subscribe for more, and see you next episode.